Hello again, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. We have a few things we're going to do today. I have a thought for the day, which will be part of let's say our theme, and that's going to be this: trust. Trust yourself, first of all. I'm saying this, and the context of it all will make sense really soon. I think the experiences that we go through in life are frankly about just that. I'm going to say that for right now because that's what I'm thinking. It's about many other things, but they are connected to this sense of trust. There is much more power in trust than we tend to think, because when you start realizing that we are more inclined to trust someone other than ourselves, and for different reasons. We are inclined to trust because maybe they told us to, or maybe our parents or our teachers or whomever told us to trust this one. You set all of your own common sense aside. You set your own feelings, your own inclinations, your own your senses, so to speak, aside to simply just trust what this person is telling you, or the direction that they're, or the capability that we think that they have, or someone thinks they have. And so we have not really been exercising our trust muscle, okay, if you know what I mean. And it has not been to our benefit. In fact, it has been to whatever state that we have right now, whatever the quality, whatever the situation, whatever our story is, as far as our life right now, is a conglomeration, an accumulation, and a natural result of the levels of trust that we have shown, not only in others, but within ourselves. And so some of the things that we are doing, and some of the things I've been talking about, and will be talking about, are definitely associated with the exercising of trust, the use of it, the relying on it, so to speak. And I'm let's see, getting some of that background music in here, so we got a little thing up there. So what we're going to do is along those lines, and I will see how I can negotiate this. I'm being producer and talker and everything at the same time. I have a note came to me, and this has to do with the crypto space. This is going to have to do with our ways of building value. I'm going to compare and contrast some things that we know and some things that we don't know to co-op crowd. Okay. Now, the other thing, just as a thought, it's my belief anyway, and I'm getting things set up here even as we go. It's my belief anyway that the people who are listening to me may be still on the sidelines in the crypto space. I know I've got the attention of some people who are veterans, certainly at least an amount of people in the drip community, and which I'm grateful for. And we're actually going to start there because I have a milestone that I planned to record, so to speak. But other things have been happening too within drip as at this real moment that it gives me an opportunity to talk about that too. So first of all, that first milestone, or the next one at least, is I'm at 4,900 deposits, and I intend to record, or in this case, my movement above 5,000 drip. And so here you are, I'm there. I've got 173 available, and we're going to hit the hydrate. We're going to confirm, and boom, 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 boom. We'll get a confirmation. This goes down to 0. This will go actually to 5,100, something like that. And here we go. Boom. Well, almost 5,100. So 5,086. I am now in the 5,000 club and producing from, at this point in time, 50 drip a day. Hallelujah. And that's cool. All right. Now, the thing that I want to do and talk about as it relates to this, also as it relates to other things, I don't want to make drip into or seem like a scapegoat, so to speak, because it is what it is. It does what it does. Talk about the price, the value, and the price of the drip token has been going down. It is down right now in the $3 and it's over $3, but it's over $3. Okay, this is a token that had a value of over $170 in January, and that's a part of my story too, because, well, hallelujah, it was so cool. Okay, and I was able to do so many things, and which I am so grateful for, because there are so many people, and so there are people who live and who live great and who live not as great on the rise and fall of the value of these items. Okay, and it doesn't matter what they are, whether it's drip, whether it's Bitcoin, whether it's the US dollar. Okay, because I've had my issues with the US dollar and the way it is managed, because its value has steadily gone down. In other words, what we call inflation is in fact deflation in the value that you can receive in exchange for using these particular items of exchange. Bitcoin changed that because it actually created an independent and inalterable record of the exchange of value between two people. Okay, the transactions occurred. See, so ultimately the real value and the creators thereof are you and me. We are the value. We tend to, and I talked about this in my last video, and also in what I wrote about in some of the articles with it, is that we tend to forget that we are the actual creators of value. It's not drip, it's not the platform, it's not anything else. It is people who create it. And the value of the drip token will change as more people come into. When there is an influx of more people into drip, because here's the value that drip produces. First of all, there are a lot of people who are of the mind that you can profit by holding something, a token, for example, that has not only some value, but the potential to go up. Now, the thing about it, drip certainly has that, and all tokens have that. Oh gosh, don't even get me into that Zen thing. Oh, since I just thought about it. Here, if I can, this is the one that basically didn't have any value. You could mine this thing and right. Free mint. You could mint this thing and it had no value whatsoever, but you mint it, you then create essentially that, oh, you got to do some exchange fees and stuff like that, and then you hold it, and at some point in time people would use it, and in so using it, there the utility would be created, and therefore the value of the token would go up. We still place the perception of value in the effect, in the token. The token itself is only a piece of information that has no value of its own. Bitcoin is a piece of information. It is a unit of information that has no value of its own. Now, US dollars or any currency, they have no value of their own. Gold has no value except that some people, enough people, see value in it, and they're willing to exchange some of their store of value for some of that, thinking that that will give them value. It is the people who give the thing value. Lamborghinis have no value unto themselves unless and until, well, you got the people who love cars, they love beauty, they love performance, they do all those things. They love even what you might call exclusivity, whatever it is. And they love to show that they're able to do that. And they have created circuits of financial return sufficient enough, a flow of that sufficient enough for them to acquire it if they want. It's not a point of whether you create value or not. You do. The point is, do you accumulate it, enough of it? You are creating value, but are you giving it away and putting it in the hands of someone else and then hoping for something to come back? And that gets me back to that word, the word of the day, of the moment, trust. Trusting yourself. We tend to actually, one, not trust ourselves, and so we are inclined to trust someone else if the story is persuasive enough. I won't say even convincing. If there's enough people already rushing in that area, and therefore, oh, maybe that draws me into it. But ultimately, it's about what and to what extent do you trust yourself. And I will say again too, from an education standpoint, from a socialization standpoint, because you think that going to schools and being, I'm going to say it anyway, indoctrinated in various school thinking, and which basically what gets you in debt by the time you're out, and which you tend to stay in. So what have you actually learned when you go through and matriculate through a school system? You get your degree in which you've been told all the time, you're nothing unless you get this. You get it, now you're here, you're in debt, and you don't even have a flow of income, and you don't know how to create one. You have to go out someplace and bow to someone's vision. They're going to tell you to do what they want you to do. They're going to negotiate some type of price. They're going to negotiate your sense of value down as much as they can, and as far as you will allow them to, first of all. And if you have no other options, or few sufficient options, then that's where it is. Who's responsible for that? It's in part, it's you. Me. This is how life plays out, especially when we have, I'll say, drank the Kool-Aid of low trust in oneself, low respect in oneself. Trust is really, really important, is really powerful, and yet we tend to have it, we apply very little of it, relatively speaking, to ourselves. And so I went over to Zen, and I got an email. I didn't get an email today. I got a barge-in message on Telegram. I call it a barge-in because someone shows up. I don't know this person. They start with my name. Hey, hi, Adam Abraham, first of all. This could be a bot. I don't know, but it could be. Hey, man, writing you on regards of your friend. Who? Okay. So my trust levels are very, very low, and they go even further down. We were just chit-talking, I can say chit, right? About the crypto space that has been sucking for the past few months. But something has just come on my table. Perhaps the most interesting thing I have seen. And let me go over here a little bit further. Take this. Bear with me. Perhaps the most interesting thing I have seen in a long time, which could actually leverage the power of blockchain and real world hedge funds. Is your interest piqued yet? I don't really need to tell you about it, but since I have been given a contact on you, I want the message to be spread because everyone can profit from that. You know how hedge funds work, right? I have been trying to look for something similar on blockchain, and I think I have finally found something promising. It is called Power Rock, offering 2% daily returns on investment because they leverage copy trading and market opportunities. I can talk a little bit about copy trading, and market opportunities is really kind of nebulous. It's kind of vague, if you know what I mean. The best thing is that they offer investing with stable coins like BUSD, so there is no worry about the price crashing. Check it out for yourself and let me know so we can talk about it. And I will share an invite link with you that will last for a couple days, so try not to sleep on it, okay? So that is what came through, and before I go, I'm deleting this and blocking the user, whoever it is, okay? Just now, this is nothing against the platform, okay? This is what I'm doing. I did go to the platform. I did not use that particular link, but I did go to the platform. I looked it up. Here it is, Power Rock. Earn 2% daily with little risk. Giving power to the people, okay? Start earning. And you can go and enter their DApp and begin the process of dropping your, exchanging, sending some of your value reserves into this platform. And they've got the most transparent protocol. They got staking. They got all the right buzzwords. And here they are. Let's see here. Even in staking, I guess you can earn as daily as much as 3% daily. So if you got even $1,000 to put in this, you can be earning about $29 a day from your $1,000. And they've got how it works, how is the yield generated. You can just click on these and it comes down. Strategy we use real simple. You put in BUSD in the protocol, and when the user does that, a fee, you paid 5%, that goes to their investment wallet. The rest of it is into a copy trading bot. Now, if you're into bots or if you're into AI and all those things, you can buy these things. You can enlist the aid of a copy trading bot yourself, just so you know. That bot is connected through API to our traders' trading accounts. These traders have been trading for us since 2020, and they talk about how the yields are. So you can, if you're interested, read all this, and that's fine. It has to do, for me, is dependencies. The dependencies on someone or something else. The dependencies on the AI bots. The dependencies on the volatility of the asset itself. Okay, whatever it is that they're trading. And they'll say that they are using some, let me see here. Let's see, we've already stated our protocol gives you 2% lockup period. Every time you deposit into Power Rock contract, your investment is locked for 2 weeks, 14 days. We do that because we need time to actually use the funds and generate profits from them. If everyone just deposited and 2 days later withdrew, we couldn't do anything, okay, with the funds. Of course you couldn't. I know that. You're right. See here, what's the other thing here? Let's see, deposit fee, fees is 5%. Withdrawal fee is none. And then they go into how to invest. And they say that deposit a little bit of BNB to cover the transaction fees. $3 worth of BNB is enough. Well, that's enough to cover the transaction fees. The other thing is, what is it that you've got to put into this thing? Okay, that's for the transaction fees. The rest is for doing this thing. And talk about the sustainability. This is the biggest concern people might have? And the answer is simple. It is sustainable. Yes, it is, as long as, another dependency, our traders keep up with the results they have been generating in the past almost 3 years. And we have been through the bull market, but also through the bear market, and we still managed to generate results that could pay 2% to our customers every day, etc. These are dependencies, and this is the Power Rock platform. And now we've given you the information. I think they even have a white paper and everything else. But for you to get anything out of this, you got to do at least $3 just to cover transaction fees. From there, you got to put in whatever it is you are willing to part with, willing or able to part with in the moment. And this isn't even providing the type of, it can give you the 2% a day, is not necessarily providing you, from what I can see, the ability to turn it over, such as Drip does, that allows you to build your principal. So it's going to basically provide you 2% a day based on what you can put in. Now, still, when you are used to 1% on average, or less than 1% annual yield from a institution, a banking institution, 2% a day, it's a big deal. However, those dependencies still exist, and this Power Rock, in this particular case, may not have existed even a month ago. I don't know. Okay, I'm just showing someone barges into my Telegram space, drops my name, suggests there's a friend of mine that they got the information from, who they don't mention, and then decides and pops this down. And here's the deal. There will be a draw to this. Okay, 2% a day, there will be a draw. There will be a desire to give it a shot, so to speak. And so there, you got just $1,000 to play around with, to give it a shot. Start earning that $29 a day. Woo, okay. So they will get, very likely, they'll get something out of this. There's another one. Here's one called Optimus. And I'm seeing this is earning 1% a daily passive income too. 1% a day. And in this particular case, look at here, they got AI trading bots and 0 fees. And so bot trading, our trust is in the bot. You know, AI is smarter than humans, right? So we're supposed to, they are infallible, right? They've got people. It's people that make these things possible, and people willing to put some of their value into them is what makes them possible. And they persist as more people continue to put funds in. Their need for more people doesn't stop. Their need for the trust of people actually doesn't stop. Now, happily, with Drip, the developer certainly has shown his ability to produce a system that protects your value much better because it has sustained. I remember one Drip imitator, I won't call it a clone, imitator, and it was called Splassive, and it was on Avalanche, and it was the Drip emulator but on a different blockchain, and it was going to be giving or producing either 2% a day. I think it was 2% a day. There was another Drip emulator whose name I just do not recall now, and I don't even recall if it was on, it may have been on BNB. I don't even recall that either, but it was 3% a day. So Drip is here doing its thing at 1%. Well, guess what? A good amount of people, myself included, took a few earnings out of Drip and put it into Splassive, put it into that other thing that had a water kind of metaphor in its name, some kind of wave. Yeah, I'm getting there. There's some type of wave. I can even picture the darn thing. But bottom line is that one crashed, I don't know, in 3 or 4 weeks, I think it was. Splassive may still exist. What it does and what it's doing, I have no idea at this point, but I don't know if it would be .com. I should have, oh, there it is. And it's on the Avalanche network, and I would need to switch to Avalanche. Why not? Why not do that? Let's see what happens. And let's see here. It was, so I connected. It was the swap. Swap is, it was their version of, and they call it the well. Oh, look at there. I even have the splash price right now is 3.7 cents. And I actually even still have a balance that's worth $16. I have enough. Oh no, that's my AVAX balance. My splash balance is that, and what is worth. No, I won't be putting anything in here either. Okay, but the price is 3.37 cents. Okay, so the trust of people went away, and it didn't come back with Splassive, even though it's still there. And because they had some kind of glitch occur, and it stopped performing, to whatever the developers credit, I think they attempted to fix the glitch because it wasn't there, and then it was, and stuff like that. But it's trust. Oh, look at there, you can see. So here's the deal. The thing as it relates to Drip, and let me get to that point right now. It is my, see, I have to reconnect my wallet because I changed blockchains, and MetaMask is still on that blockchain. So if I go back down here and switch over back to the BNB, now I can connect again with my Drip account, which is on a different blockchain. MetaMask is a MetaMask because it has the ability to negotiate, to interact on multiple blockchains, all in one mask, all in one interface. Okay, and so that is what MetaMask does. It turns out that the Solana blockchain is not available on MetaMask, and so when it gets down to Co-op Crowd and joining it and funding it with Solana or USDC or USDT, which is on the Sol blockchain, you have to use a different wallet, and which is in this case that wallet there. What is it called? The Phantom wallet. Okay, that's what it's called. Now, here's my point and my point of comparison, and maybe we'll get out of here in not a lot period of time. In terms of trust, as I show you how to join, for you who may not have seen this process before, the information for Co-op Crowd goes here, your information, including your phone and your email address, etc., and as well as the sponsor ID of the person that invites you. That's the one thing that you do. But the thing that makes this different is that you're putting, no matter how much money you have, the entry cost is $100 or $400. Now, you've heard that in if you've seen any of my others, you know that now. But if you're new to this, it's a flat amount. You're taking $100 of value, you're taking up $400 of value, one or the other. And taking the larger gives you benefits that include what the smaller one does, but it gives you more in terms of receipt from your activities. So while people who are in, myself included, in these other platforms, Drip and, well, the others that I'm not going to be doing, you're putting your value into those platforms even when it applies. For example, with Drip, you are putting and you're rolling that value over. Okay? You're not taking it out. You're not using it. If you want to continue to get the benefit, you roll it over. You roll that value over. You keep it over there. Happily, Drip has been and is sustainable enough that if someone new comes into it, as I am confident many new people will, and especially when the applications that the developer, Forex Sharp, has already set up for the use of Drip, where the Drip token will be an integral component of something else. There's a game that will be using Drip as the value exchange medium. That will make it where you got to have Drip in order to do it. More people will be using it. More people will come to see Drip as a viable token, as people do now. But there are only about 100,000 Drip holders today. When there's 1 million Drip holders, and there's no reason there won't be, there's no reason that there shouldn't be, because it is one token that does allow you to do just that. You do lock that value up. You put it in, that value is Drip's, okay? Drip becomes like a bank. But it is trustless in the sense that it will pay you back 1% a day on the available balances in Drip. The dependencies are how many people are using it, how many people are bringing more and putting more of their trust in it, and therefore who are exchanging and putting their capital in it. The price has been going down because the net flow of capital, of value, has been going out. Oftentimes, and very likely, into the animal farm. I know when it first came up, I took some out of Drip, put it in the animal farm. Okay? This is very likely happening too, because Drip does work. It does produce. So this is something one should know and understand about Drip. The fact is, it is reliable. It is trustworthy. The thing that I just showed you before, the Power Rock, at least for me at least, it's not trustworthy. I could do stories about some of the platforms that I put funds in that I had some high hopes for that disappeared over the years that have preceded all this. So it is with some amount of circumspection that I look into and I regard these different platforms. I have some that I just really liked. They were so cool. Who remembers Bet Robot, okay? Or Bitcoin's Brain? Anybody remember these platforms? They were just cool. They were different. They were entertaining, really, just to watch, and they were producing until you got these 504s, you got these things. One day you go to see what you earn, the other, and it's no longer there. You can't access it. The cool thing about the blockchain technology, it's there. Even if the Drip website wasn't there, you can interact. You still got to learn how to do this, but you can interact directly with the contract. That's one of the beauties of a blockchain. Well, Co-op Crowd does not require you to put in on and on and on unlimited amounts, or amounts that are limited by your ability to provide. It has the two amounts, $100 or $400. That applies to everyone. And the other thing, its other requirement is this: you invite 3 people. You don't have to invite 100. It can provide you with a return far in excess of what you put in actual seed funds by inviting 3 people and also caring enough, staying present enough to invite, or to until those 3 that you invite also have 3 people. It will begin, when that occurs, it will begin sending to you more than enough to cover the every 28-day requirement, because you are putting in every 28 days. So if you put $400 in every 28 days, you're up for $400. But if it only takes you a week to get your first, let's say, if it only takes you 3 days to get your first 3, and then you help your people get their first 3 in 3 days, and we pass on the habit of get your 3 together in 3 days, know how to do it, make that your goal, make it your vision, make it your commitment to 3 days. I got my 3 in 3 tokens in 3 days. The person you invite, they get their 3, they get there, and they're commit to 3 in 3 days. We're so focused on doing the minimum that we will get there, and then if we don't hit it, we start missing all of our other goals that are associated with it. But if we set that up as a standard, an expectation, you are, every member is literally providing the same amount of liquidity, and the co-op crowd system is moving it through the system immediately. So everyone that activates their inviter in their lineage is receiving right then and there, and the funds are in that receiver's wallet in co-op crowd, and it is available to them in full, in toto, right then and right there. You keep an amount in so that you can cover your part, your position. We are literally creating a matrix of trust between people who trust themselves to complete a task, to create a vision, and to actually live it, to give their attention, and to build their ability to have, I'm not going to say an unlimited supply, but a humongous one. When we're talking an inflow, we're creating an inflow of value back to us. I want to say that it is limited to 88,572. And I put in my last video that you are literally giving to 10 people. Your $400 is basically sent out to 10 people, your inviter plus 9 others, because the limit is 10 levels. However, when you set your 3 up, you are creating a matrix that goes down 10 levels on a 3 by 10 basis, 3 levels wide and 10 levels deep, and it multiplies, each level multiplies by a factor of 3. So you got 3, then you got 9 on the next level, then you got 27 on the next level, then you've got 81, and then 243, etc. 243 and 729. Okay, there's more, right? And the point, basically, by level 10, there's 59,049 people on that level, but everyone, and I said that you would receive from 3 times a factor of 10, 3 to the 10th power, but actually it's more than that. You receive from the cumulative, so because 59,049 people on the 10th level, but those are all connected to you, and then they are doing the same thing. And each person who does this, you care about the 3 that they get, and you care about it enough that you stay with them, you support them, we support them to get their 3 too. But if we're sending out and establishing a pattern and a habit of getting your 3, inviting your 3, having them activated within 3 days, that becomes our beat, that becomes our rhythm, and the blessings, the return happens even faster. Now, you can have even more than 88,572 by inviting more than 3 people and simply helping them to get their 3 too. But right now we're establishing the idea that all of our other platforms, the ones that we love, they require that you trust them well enough to take some of your value that you have available and transfer it there, and then they trickle it back to you over some period of time, or they have other stipulations, one way, form, or fashion. Oh, you can only take about this amount, or you got to do this. If you do this or try to get this out in such a time, there is a factor in that'll stop this. All of these things that are intent on holding and keeping and maintaining the value of the system itself. But you're the one who created it. You're the one who contributed to it. Co-op Crowd has no such restrictions. It only requires that you invite 3 and also be present, assist in whatever way you can for your 3 to also get their 3 and learn the process themselves so that they can pass that habit on. And at which point in time you are getting passive income, which grows organically in the time it takes, but you can compress the time by actually being resolute in your method and in your vision. This basically allows me to imagine, instead of going to the grocery store and getting some lobster tails to have a really nice dinner or special dinner, it allows me to imagine actually buying my own little jet and going to Maine to get some lobster and have a nice lobster dinner. I like that better. And it allows me to consider doing that. I can buy that jet without having to borrow any money to do it. That to me is preferable to going to someone and asking for credit and all these other things. There's no draw for me there. I have other things that I want to do that are beyond simply, for me, being able to get someplace in a short period of time and convenient. Makes a jet is reasonable to do that. Motorhome too, like to do that. How cool is it and will it be to not worry about the price of gas, the price of, until I know how to fly that thing myself and have all those accreditations. I hire someone who, and pay them handsomely. Okay, I'll pay them and be able to pay them above scale to be available when I want and when I need it. This is how, and this is the kind of change of life I want. The change in the quality of life. I'm happy with my life as it is. I'm happy with myself as I am. There are things that can be done in our society, in our interactions with each other, in our communities, that actually require vision, and it requires something that simply looking for money alone does not do. It requires cooperation. It requires trust. People who trust themselves and interacting with others who trust themselves and who are therefore trustworthy to follow through in positive, beneficial ways, who can set their differences aside. And one of the big differences is I want to say the chasm that often exists between who we are and what we have happening in our life and the flow of value returning to us, the flow of positive, enabling value. Co-op Crowd is alone in its requiring little from the standpoint of the monies in terms of to put on deposit, and because of the behavior that it, first of all, it requires in order to produce. Those behaviors are psychological and spiritual in their nature. A psychological behavior is basically choosing to be courageous, choosing to think a different way, choosing to say, well, I've never done this before, I'm uncomfortable with this, but you see the possibilities of stepping beyond your discomfort zone, your field of discomfort. You may or may not know this, but your discomfort at doing something that's to your actual benefit and trusting yourself is a wall that no one can see that you put around yourself for the return of what you're seeking. So a little bit of money and put in the Co-op Crowd, join, deposit, and then when you receive, when in that deposit, you're getting those 3 or 4 tokens. If you do the 400, you're getting 4 tokens. You get the combo. Just one combo has 3 Co-op 25 tokens and 1 Co-op 250 token. And when you do that, then even before you do it, already you're listening to this. If you're still listening to this, get your 3 people in mind, start working that out, and get your team. That's the only team you need, is to have your 3 and to help them get their 3, help them be in a position that they can make it easy for their 3 to get their 3. Because everything that happens to you from the standpoint of these funds that come in will happen to them when their funds come in, and all they would have had to do is put out $100 or $400. And by the time their 3s are active, there's no more money coming out. Co-op Crowd doesn't require, or would not require any more. It's from you. And when they do it, it won't require any more out of their pocket from them. And yet, every 28 days, you are contributing into that system, and every 28 days with them, same thing. Etc., etc., etc. So I'm looking forward to joining you, or you joining Co-op Crowd. And am I going to continue with drip? Hell yes, I am. I'm going to continue my compounding. I am going to continue building it up. Am I going to put anything in this? I'm not going to put anything in the Power Rock. I'm not putting anything in the Optimus. These are, for me at least, old school in the sense that I'm putting funds into that system, and they haven't, unlike drip. Would I recommend drip? Hell yes, I would. There are people for whom drip is a revelation. Co-op Crowd, oh my God. And yet, the only way you can actually know the truth of Co-op Crowd is to do the steps. You can't say it doesn't work if you haven't done the steps that have been clearly laid out, which are not based on how much money you have. It's how much heart do you have? How much empathy do you have for someone beyond yourself? That's the question. If we're simply concerned about ourselves and we're happy making ours, okay. I personally am happier when I've got mine, you got yours too, however much you need. But I'm not going to give it to you. My job is to be the best me I can be. It's not to be you and me too. So ultimately, when your job, and you see your job as being the best you, and this is a way that you can build your flow. We're not building a bag. A bag, as I see it, is static, is sitting there, and it's getting fat and lazy. We're building a flow of income that is moving just like water, and it doesn't have these holes in it that people are sucking the value off or robbing you blind, so to speak. So that's my point. That's what I want to say for now. I've got some other things to share, but this is where we are. So until next time, I will sign off, leaving you with the thought to trust yourself. Love yourself. Trusting yourself and loving yourself are intermingled. They go hand in hand. Be true to yourself. Seek it. Feel it. Be it. Until next time, peace. And I'll say be well, and I love you all.